Hi, everyone. So we're going to continue with our completing the square series. Completing the square allows us to change a standard form problem x squared. Let's show this again. Standard form x squared plus, let's say, 6x plus 8 into our nice usable, what I want to say usable, vertex form. Vertex form. Y is equal to x plus 3 squared. Now I'm going to plus 9 minus 9, and that's a negative 1. That's how fast we can do completing the square. You take the middle, divide it by 2, if it's a level 1 problem. And then what's a perfect square I have? 3 squared, 3 times 3 should be 9. I don't see a 9 here. So I'm going to write plus 9 minus 9. And then, so this is my perfect square here, x squared plus 6x plus 9. That's this guy here. And then what's my leftovers? Negative 9 plus 8 is that negative 1. Okay. So once we're in this vertex form, we can actually do a lot of different things with it because it's now in a super easy form. And one main thing that we've been doing with it is graphing. Now that we have the vertex is negative 3, comma negative 1. That's my vertex with a v. If you remember, the standard form is ax minus h squared plus k, where h is, see how it's a negative h? So since it's positive, it's actually negative 3. So my h is negative 3. And that's what's really going on the inside. X plus 3 is x minus 3. So our h is negative 3. And then so I can say that my vertex is 1, 2, 3 to the left, and 1 down. That's a point. And then the parabola is, since our a value is 1 here, 1 space over, 1 space up, 1 space over, 1 space up, we can draw a parabola in a matter of seconds. And hopefully on your IXL task, you're able to get through that and you realize, hey, these parabolas are super easy to graph. You just have to be very specific on catching what your a value is, what the vertex is, and what your a value is. And hopefully you guys feel like you're pretty confident about that. You guys are able to do that. I wish I could like erase IXL and then make you guys do it one more time, but it doesn't let me do that. Okay, so if we can get into this nice form over here, graphing is going to be super easy. But it's actually not only graphing, there's other skills that we can attach to it. So it's not a one-stop shop. Okay, we can graph it, we can find the vertex, we can find the axis of symmetry, we can find a minimum or maximum, we can then solve for zeros with it. There's literally like 4 or 5 things we can do in this vertex form that we cannot do in standard form. Now, can we make this vertex form from any standard form equation? Answer is yes, but it gets harder. So let's go to review what happens when we had a negative there. So we're going to inch our way up today from level 1 to level 3 problems. Okay, we're inch our way up. Let's see what happens if I gave you guys negative. Y is equal to negative x squared. That's right, minus 6x. Let's do minus 8 here, okay? So I just spun the numbers around, okay? Now, one thing I don't like is this negative sign. So I'm going to teach it this way. You could have taken negative signs out of all 3 of these, but I'm not going to go that route because I want to teach a method that will work for all different types of problems. Okay, so from this now on, it's the same exact type of problem. So I don't want the negative. So we get rid of the negative by factoring out the negative from not only 1, but both the front and second term. So that's to go ahead and rewrite the problem. Y is equal to negative. I'm going to ask the negative to come out. We're going to leave the back. We always leave it alone. We always leave the back alone for us. Now, I have not started completing the square yet. I am just setting up. If you guys ever cook, it's always nice to have someone cut up the vegetables, cut up the chicken, and have everything prepped to go before you start cooking. It does save time, and that's what we're doing. We cannot complete the square because of this negative here. We cannot complete the square. So we get rid of it, and now we are happy again. See? We got rid of the negative sign, and now we can complete the square. Let's go ahead and complete the square. Y is equal to negative, and let's go ahead and bubble up. I call this bubble up. What do we write inside the parentheses? X plus what number? If you guys are able to in the chat, you guys can type it really quickly. What number do we type? X plus what when I'm completing the square here? We always divide the middle by 2. Good job, thank you. X plus 3, you guys got it super fast. I'm guessing you guys are really good. Okay, now what's a perfect C I wish I had? 3 squared is 9. Do you guys see a 9 here? I don't see a 9. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write a plus 9 inside. Now, remember, this is all happening inside the fish tank. It's happening inside the parentheses. If I add 9, I minus 9. So we have our perfect square now. X squared plus 6x plus 9, that's my perfect square. That's this guy here. And then we have to combine our leftovers. We're going to combine this 9 with the 8. Well, we said it's inside and outside. Inside the parentheses, can't talk to people on the outside. So what we're going to do is put on our jacket. Remember, we have to multiply everyone by a negative. So negative times a negative 9 becomes a positive 9. I'm going to stick a positive 9 on the outside, right? So we multiply a negative to put on your jacket so you can leave. Mom, can I go out? Yeah, just put on your jacket. You can go out. And then we have a positive 9 now. Inside the house, you're not cool. You're negative 9, but outside the house, you're cool. You're a positive 9. Is anyone like that in your family? Like in your house, you're not cool, but outside, you're really cool? All right, sorry, I shouldn't bring that up. So we are able to complete the square on problems that are not simply just a nice x squared in the front. If it's a negative one, fine, we can deal with that negative, but just pulling the negative out. Now, using the same type of structure, we can do this with any number. And what if there's a 2 in front? Let's use the same problem. Y is equal to 2x squared minus 12x, let's say minus 8. Very similar problem to this. Let's do plus 8 actually. Let's do plus 8, plus 8. Let's change it to plus 8. There's no real reason, I just wrote plus 8. Okay, so if you notice now, this is not a love 1 problem. Why? Because we're not allowed to have the 2 there. Some people again will say, hey, look, let's go get to get 2 out of all these. I'm not going to, just the front 2, and it's on purpose. It's on purpose. Because what if the back one was a odd number? Okay, what if this was 7 over 2? Then you'd be like, oh, Mr. Code, there's a fraction, I hate my life. No. So we're just dealing with the front 2. So now take a look at the front 2. What number don't we want here? We said we don't want the 2. So that's factor out the 2 out from both these numbers. Here we go. So y is equal to 2 left over what? Plus, sorry, give ourselves some space. We have x squared minus, what do you think? What is 12 and I pull out the 2? What is 12 and I pull out the 2? It would become 6. Perfect. So I am not completing the square. I'm just setting it up. I cannot complete the square where there's a 2 in front. So I take it out and we have this nice, easier version. Hey, x squared minus 6x. We can do that. That's easy. So y is equal to, that's go ahead and now we can bubble up. Okay, so the idea here is my first step is to not complete the square. I'm just setting up. I'm setting up, getting rid of the 2. We don't want you around here. Please leave. Take your peeps with you. And then now we can complete the square. So what do you think goes here? X minus what? So now we have x squared by itself. We can now complete the square. So how do I bubble up? We always divide this by 2. So it's x minus 3. Are you guys okay with x minus 3? Anyone confused where I got the 3 from? Let's go. Why did you keep dividing it by 2? Remember, these are different steps. The first step was just to clean up the front value. That's our goal, to clean up the front value. So we got rid of the 2. The 2, unfortunately, may give us a 6, which is fine. And then we can half that to complete the square. Now, okay, let's go ahead. What's the perfect C value? What's going on here? Uh-oh, where'd you come from? Go away. Okay. What's a perfect C we want is 9. So 3 squared is 9. I don't see a 9 here, so let's go ahead and write plus 9 minus 9. Plus 9 minus 9. Now take a look. We have our perfect square. X squared plus 6x plus 9. X minus 3 squared. That's my perfect square. And then what do I do with this 9? 9 has to talk with the 8. But how do I get it out? We multiplied by the 2. Remember, 2 is the bully. 2 is watching the door. 2 is the guard dog. Okay? 2 times everyone. So 2 times our perfect square, perfect. But then to get out, we're going to put on a jacket. 2 times negative 9 is negative 18. We can combine our outside terms now. That's negative 10. And we are done. So I want you guys to look at this negative and this 2 version, right? We have a negative here in the front, and we have 2 versions in the front. All the steps we did are pretty much exactly the same. On the left side, we take out a negative. You can think of that as negative 1. On the right side, we take out a 2. But we go through all the similar steps. Okay, so let's look at 2 more examples here, very similar to this. Let's see, y is equal to 3x squared minus 12x. Let's say so plus 10. And then we'll say y is equal to 4x squared minus 16x plus, let's do 15, okay? So we're going to do these problems at the same time, so we can see that they're the same steps. So would these be considered level 1 problems? I would say no. Look, there's a number in front, we cannot complete the square. But that doesn't prevent us from trying to set it up to complete the square. So if I want to get rid of the 3, that's ask 3 to leave. 3 come out of the first 2 terms. Well, on the second problem, what are we going to ask to leave here? What number do we not want? We don't want the 4. Now, if you look here, we couldn't divide the 10 by 3, right? We couldn't divide the 15 by 4. And this is the same idea of here. We could have divided it by 2 here, but I didn't want you to, because I want you to have the same pattern for all these problems. And I don't want you to end up with a fraction all of a sudden. Do you guys want to write 15 over 4? I don't think so. Because I don't want to end up dealing with fractions when I don't have to. Again, this is a method that I've been working with for years, and I realized that we shouldn't do that because the kids get even more confused. Okay, let's go ahead and bubble up. Okay, so let's set it up. So if I take out a 3, we have x squared minus what? If I divide a 3 from 12, 12 divided by 3 is 4. That's double check. Did I really change the problem? 3 times x squared is 3x squared, and 3 times 4 is 12, right? So I'm not changing what its value is. I'm just making it look different to fit my needs. Okay, on the right side, if I take out a 4, right? Take out a 4, take out a 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. X squared minus 4x. Now that we have the 3 and the 4 out of the way, we can now complete the square. Y is equal to 3, bubble up. Y is equal to 4, bubble up. Do not copy the 15, do not copy the 10 down, okay? Because we're going to figure out what that new number is going to be to complete our square. What's our perfect square on my left? X minus, we always divide it by 2, half it. That's going to be 2, okay? On the right side, do you think what do you think it's going to be if I divide by 2? X minus, cut in half, cut in by 2. Now that we've set up our perfect square, what is the perfect C value I wish I had? It's not 10, because what's 2 times 2? 2 squared is 4. So we're going to add 4 and minus 4. On the right side, we take negative 2 squared, becomes plus 4 and minus 4 also. So take a look, those patterns are the same because you're just squaring that value we need to complete the square. So we have a perfect square, x squared minus 4x plus 4, that's this guy here. X squared minus 4x plus 4, that's this guy here. And we're just going to clean up the house. Let's clean up the house. Let's get rid of this negative 4 here. So we do that by multiplying to kick it out. It needs to talk to the outside folks. Put on a jacket. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Great. Now we can combine them. Negative 12 plus 10 is negative 2. On the right, if I multiply, put on your jacket, please. Mom, I want to go out and play. Put on your jacket. Negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. Now they're playing outside, becomes negative 1. We have just completed the square. You can tell what the vertex is as 2, negative 2. Vertex is 2, negative 1. Way too fast once we have vertex form. Okay, I want you guys to work on this problem yourself now. Y is equal to 5x squared minus, we'll do minus 15, oh, not 15, minus 10x plus, let's do 16, okay? So I want you guys to try working on this problem right now. Let's see how far you guys can get. Okay, so let's see how far we got. So we're going to first say, hey, I need to get rid of the 5. So we take out the 5, we have x squared minus 2x, because we divide the 5 plus 16. Let's double check it. 5 times 1 is 5, and 5 times 2 is 10. All right, we're looking good there. Okay. And then now that we got rid of the 5, we can now complete the square. Our setup for completing the square is done. Let's bubble up. We always divide the middle by 2. X minus 1. What's the perfect C I wish I had? 1 times 1 is positive 1. I wish I had a 1. So I'm right, plus 1 for me. I want a minus 1 to balance out the equation. We're going to multiply the 5 by the 1 to kick it out. And negative 5 equals to plus 11. Oops, that 11 is terrible. All right. Okay. So hopefully you guys are kind of okay with these problems, or getting used to them, that I have to get rid of that front number first before I can deal with the problem. Now, the next level of difficulty is, what if it was a, no, that's a negative here. Y is equal to negative 2x squared plus 4x, let's say plus minus 6, okay? And again, I could have done all three, but I'm not doing all three, okay? I'm not taking the 2 from all three. So let's get rid of the negative first, negative 2. What do we have left if I remove a negative 2 from the problem? This is gone, right? So x squared. And what if we divide negative 2 from 4? That gives me a negative 2x. I want to show you guys that that would be the right answer. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x squared, right? That's what it is. And negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4. Perfect. You can always double check. And I always double check because, you know what? I'm sometimes unsure. I make mistakes. You make mistakes, we all make mistakes. Now that we got rid of the a value, now we can complete the square. We take the middle, divide by 2. X minus 2 divided by 2 is 1, because it's always half. The perfect square is plus 1 minus 1. Good. And then we're going to multiply the 2 to kick out this 1 out. Negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. And positive 2 minus 6 is negative 4. Now again, on your test, I need to see this work happening. I need to see this work. If you have a different way of doing it, you have to email me beforehand. If not, I'm not taking it, right? Because there are a lot of online solvers that will solve for this in a way that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Some of you guys have turned in work when you guys factored using a solver, and it factored in a way that does not make sense, and you did not show work. So you guys have to factor in this manner. Which you guys have to complete the square. Now, this is our last one. Last one is, what if I had a fraction? Y is equal to 1/2 x squared plus, let's do 3x plus 4, okay? This is just a made up problem, made up. Actually, I'm gonna say 4 over, no, we'll say 4. Because we'll practice with a fraction here. Okay, so we do exactly what we said before. We have to get rid of that front number. The front number I need to get rid of is the 1/2. But here is something going to happen. It's a little bit weird. When I take out a front 1/2, it's going to change the number 3, but in the way that you don't think about. Y is equal to 1/2 left over x squared plus what? So before, what we did here is we divided that middle number by the 1/2. So if I say 3 divided by 1/2 is not 0.5, it's actually 6. 3 times 2 over 1 is 6. Whenever you divide by a fraction, you always multiply by a reciprocal instead. That is a general rule. When you divide fractions, we don't like dividing fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal. Why is it true? Why is it like this? Why is 3 divided by 1/2 6? Let's think about it as money. How many times does 50 cents go into $3? How many times does 50 cents go into $3? Here's $3. How many 50 cents? Here's $1. Oops, other way around. I'm not sure I always write symbols backwards. Here's $1. Here's $2. Here's $3. How many 50 cents are in $3? Well, isn't there 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here? There are 6 50 cents in $2. So whenever you divide by a fraction, you actually multiply by the reciprocal. And this turns out to be 6x. Now, I want to show you something kind of cool. When you double check, to just make sure, please double check, especially when you're doing fractions. 1/2 of x squared is 1/2 x squared, what we hope for. But what is 1/2 of 6? What is half of 6? Isn't that the 3 we were hoping for? So when you're double checking, please go ahead and double check, especially fractions. We can make simple mistakes here. 1/2 of 6 is 3. Now that we are in the perfect set for completing the square, here we go. Y is equal to 1/2. Let's complete the square. What is the perfect C? Sorry, we always divide the middle by x plus 3 by 2. What's the perfect C value I wish I had? 3 times 3 is 9. We're going to add 9 and minus 9, plus 9, minus 9. Now, this problem specifically is a lot harder because we're going to end up with a fraction. We got to put on your jacket. Remember, put on your jacket. 9 times 1/2 is negative 9 over 2. Now, this takes us to another skill that we need to practice. How can I combine a fraction and a non-fraction? How can I combine a fraction and non-fraction? We need a common denominator. So I'm going to multiply this guy to make him a common denominator. I'm going to make him go get some change. What kind of denominator do they need to share? They need to share 1/2. If not, you can do 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. Sure, you can do that, fine. But I'm going to go ahead and multiply this by a 2 over 2. 2 times 4 is 8. This is plus 8 over 2. Isn't 8 over 2 the same as 4? I just made change. Now, since they have the same denominator, we can combine them, negative 1 over 2. Fractions are confusing because of this main step right here. How'd you get from 3 to 6? Well, I took a half out. What does that mean? I divided by 1/2 means you multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, let's do this again. So I'm going to set up 2 different problems here. Y is equal to 1/3 x squared plus 4x plus 5. And y is equal to 1 over 4 of x squared plus 2x plus 6 here. Okay, we have 2 different problems here, both fraction problems. Can I complete the square as it is, or do I have to change some stuff? What don't we want when we're completing the square? We don't want any a values. So let's go ahead and take them out. Y is equal to 1/3, leave some space. Y is equal to 1/4, and leave some space. So we're going to take out the 1/3 from the front, and we're going to take the 1/4 away from the front. So if I take it away from the x squared, that's just x squared. But here's the hard part. What happens when I divide 1/3 from 4? That's right on the side. 4 divided by 1/3 is multiplied by the reciprocal. The reciprocal is the flip version. 3 over 1 is 12. Turns out that's actually 12. What? That's 12. I want you guys to double check. What is 3 divided by 12? Isn't that 4? Perfect. That's actually what we wanted. Double check it. On the right, let's do the same math. 2 divided by 1/4 is really 2 times 4 over 1. 4 over 1 is 8. X squared plus 8x. Would this work for you? What is 1/4? What's 8 divided by 4? That brings back the 2 we wanted. Let me pause here. Okay. So now that we got it's all set up, now we complete the square. Remember, we haven't started completing the square. We've been setting up only, just setting up, getting rid of that a value. So let's go ahead and complete the square. Y is equal to 1/3. X plus what squared? Y is equal to 1/4. X plus what squared? And hopefully you remember, we always divide the middle by 2. Divide the middle by 2. Nope, that's not 2. That's just by 2. What's a perfect C we wish we had? 6 squared. I don't see 6 squared anywhere. 6 times 6 is 36. Let's go ahead and write that. Plus 36 minus 36. Over here on the right, squared, 4 squared is plus 16 minus 16. Okay, so we have our perfect square, x squared plus 12x plus 36. That's my perfect square right there. And we're going to have to get rid of this negative 36. Kick it out. What is negative 36 divided by 3? This is negative 12. So we have negative 12 on the outside. Negative 12 plus 5 is negative 7. Okay. 36 divided by 3 is 12. And then we can combine it. On the right, let's see what happens. I'm going to multiply 16 by 4, right? 16 by 1/4. That's going to be 16 over 4, which is just 4. Negative 4. Negative 4. Inside your beast, you're 16, but outside you're just you. Negative 4 plus 2. And this is how we find our vertex form with fractions. Okay. And that's it.